Welcome one, welcome all to the Pinkston AI Weekly Update. I'm Wesley, and today we're getting started by talking about apples and bananas. As much as I love apples, we're actually going to be talking about Apple. And we've mentioned before about how Apple, the company, has been noted as falling behind in the AI race. Apple Intelligence was supposed to be Apple's dip of the toe into the sea of artificial intelligence, but it really didn't make all that much of a splash. And so on the heels of that, Apple announced that they were going to make some major upgrades to Siri. But if you've used Siri in the past couple of months, you know that that definitely hasn't happened yet. And in fact, Apple came out and said that they're going to delay the launch of their upgraded Siri by at least a year because they're running into engineering challenges. And that's been Apple's issue from the beginning. Their ideas and their tools really aren't all that bad. They're actually pretty interesting, but they're just behind. People have come to expect the conversationalism and the helpfulness that you get from a voice chat with ChatGPT or Gemini. And so when you have a conversation with Siri or you see the results that you get from Apple Intelligence, it just feels archaic and behind. Well, all that to say that there was some news this week that Apple is in talks with Google to potentially integrate Google AI models into their redesigned Siri. Okay, so why does this matter? Well, I mean, first of all, as an Apple user, it would be nice to have a built-in artificial intelligence that actually worked. But even more than that, there's a really interesting partnership that's happening between Google and Apple here. 500 million people worldwide use Siri, and getting Gemini integrated into Apple devices would have some financial implications for Google. But even more important than that would be a wider adoption of AI tools. People use Siri, but they may not necessarily use ChatGPT or Gemini. Having those two things melded together could drive wider adoption of that technology. Next, I promised bananas, but what I really want to talk about is image editing. There has been a lot of conversation this week about Nano Banana, which is this new AI software that allows you to edit existing images. Nano Banana is a project from Google, and what makes it so exciting for people is that it allows you to make some really incredible edits to existing images. Now, creating images with AI tools is definitely not a new thing. But most AI tools will only regenerate your images, meaning that if you upload a picture of yourself, like I did for my fantasy football league, it will recreate that image to the best of its ability. And as you probably know, the results of that can be pretty hit or miss. But what AI editing tools like Nano Banana are supposed to do are edit specific parts of your image, almost like what you do with Photoshop or a different photo editing tool. And this is really cool because it allows you to adjust the angle of a photo or add a little something into the background or remove the background or make other tweaks without totally regenerating the entire thing. This has enormous applications for us because in a world where you're creating mock-ups or you need to adjust the angle of a photo or change the composition or change the lighting or change the background or remove an object from the background or add a product into the hand of someone, you can do that, and you can do it really quickly, and you can do it really accessibly and really affordably. Products like Photoshop cost a lot of money and they require a lot of expertise to learn how to use them. And it just takes time to edit photos. But using prompts, you can now edit photos on a much shorter time frame and for a lot less money. We've talked at length about Meta's crazy hiring spree over the past couple of months, but apparently that's starting to change a little bit. There's been some reports that the AI hiring spree is over, and that Meta is once again doing some company-wide reorganizations specifically around its artificial intelligence efforts. There's a couple of things to note on that. First, the team that built Llama, which is Meta's open source AI model, is being completely dissolved. And there are several prominent team members that have left Meta entirely. This isn't too surprising because the failure of Llama to make any real waves in the AI industry is what seemed to push Meta into this whole crazy hiring spree in the first place. Second, the folks that Mark Zuckerberg hired for his AI superintelligence lab are reportedly just doing away with the old Llama model altogether. They're scrapping it. And they've said that they're going to restart and build a new model entirely from scratch. I've said it before and I will say it again, Meta has spent a lot of money to breathe new life into their artificial intelligence wing. This is a priority for Mark Zuckerberg and it is a priority for the organization. So it is going to be fascinating to see as new tools and new software starts to roll out from this company, how it integrates into the systems that are the bread and butter of Meta, like Facebook and Instagram. And more importantly for us, it'll be really interesting to see how Meta starts to integrate AI into their wide swath of advertising tools. Well, finally, let me hit you verbally with a few rapid-fire updates on some tools that you might find helpful this week. First, and you've probably seen this already, Google Docs can now read your documents out loud for you. I don't know about you, but I prefer to listen to things over reading them. It helps me ingest and understand the material that's in front of me, particularly for longer articles or longer research papers. But text-to-speech tools have traditionally been just terrible. But Google's text-to-speech actually sounds really nice.
A new paper from the Anthropic Safeguards research team describes a method that defends AI models against universal jailbreaks.
It's easy to use, it's easy to listen to, and you can change the voices right inside of Google Docs. And it's nice that it doesn't sound like a 1980s Terminator robot.
A new paper from the Anthropic Safeguards research team describes a method that defends AI models against universal jailbreaks.
Second, Google is experimenting around using artificial intelligence to organize its search results a little bit differently. It's an experiment they're calling WebGuide, and essentially what it does is it groups links together in helpful ways to get you more relevant results. And the idea is that you might find web pages that might be on page 2, 3, or further on Google that you may not have found otherwise, but might be really relevant to your query. This is something you can try if you're enrolled in their Search Labs program, which is a free program that you can sign up for. Finally, ElevenLabs rolled out a tool that allows you to upload a video, and it uses artificial intelligence to watch the video and then come up and create music that then plays in the background of that video. And it's not perfect, but it's cool that it can watch the video, see what's happening inside of it, and then create custom music based on what it sees. That's what's been happening in the world of artificial intelligence this week, but all that can change in a matter of days. So I'm looking forward to seeing what we're going to have to talk about on the next AI Weekly Update. I'll see you then.